All right. We're in our fourth and final segment of the day. I'm going to do a rapid-fire hammer. There's a ton of stuff out there that I want you to be aware of. One, there's a link up on our Facebook page if you're a Missouri resident, a brand new tool from Ron Calzone at mofirst.org. This tool allows you to find newspapers and other media for submission of letters to the editor and other content. It literally, there's a link to it on our Facebook and on our website. Make sure that you get there. It's called libertytools.org. And here's the way this thing works. Basically, it shows you a map, and it shows you all the newspapers or all the media. There's different ways that you can categorize it and highlight that media that you want to get to. But it allows you, and it gives you their phone number and the email address where you can submit letters to the editor and other content, news, etc. What this really tells us is that, or what this gives us is a tool to start allowing America and your fellow citizens in Missouri to understand just where you stand so that people don't feel alone. Use it unsparingly, this tool. Let the world, let our state, and let our fellow citizens know that they are not alone in their recognition of our rapid fall into tyranny. Let others know of our solutions. Preach massive, peaceful, civil disobedience every single day. Preach we the people are the masters of this government and our own destiny. Preach self-reliance, self-respect, self-discipline, honor, truth, self-motivation. Demand accountability. Demand integrity. Demand honor and truth, freedom and liberty. Be articulate. Take the time to write yourself a letter to an editor. Doesn't have to be long, can be a few paragraphs. Go over it, check it, read it, wait, sleep on it, check it again, clean it up, and then submit. Do it every single day. That's the one thing that you, as Joe Sixpack citizen, can do to make a difference. Yes, they're going to get tired of your submissions. Maybe half of them will never make it into the paper. Who cares? The truth of the matter is, every one of us has an obligation to be out there working and proselytizing liberty and freedom and the dangers of tyranny. So be articulate. Be well-reasoned in your arguments. Read them, test them, send them off to a friend and have somebody else check it if you're really not sure. If you don't have a whole lot of experience writing, that's no excuse. Stop giving yourself one. It's time to take a stand. It's time to put down the bag of potato chips and get up off the couch. It's time for you to play a role. Be a soldier, stand up, and fight. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to defend yourselves. That's where we're at. Don't be judgmental. Be truthful. This is what I posted on our Facebook page. Utilize logic and reason, but temper that with knowledge of the frailties and foibles of men. Be consistent, true, and steadfast. Be fearless. Be a warrior for liberty and freedom and truth. Take a stand. Use this tool. Use it every day. John Kerry came out yesterday and said, this little thing called the internet makes it much harder to govern. I got to tell you, that, John Kerry, is because the sheeple have an opportunity to go outside of your approved ministry of propaganda and actually learn the truth. And that is what really rubs your shorts. You're a traitor, John Kerry. You always have been, and you always will be. Once a traitor, forever unforgiven. What you have done and perpetrated upon America, you and the whole lot of the other scumbags up there, is unforgivable. If you want a definition of the unforgivable sin, look at Congress. They are responsible for it. and guilty of it. All right, I'm going to hit this rapid fire. Philadelphia closed 23 schools, but managed to come up with $400 million to build a brand new prison. Really? They shut down 23 schools, which albeit is probably not much of a wash because the kids are graduating at the rate in urban areas of 80%, and they can't do basic mathematics. Now, I'm talking basic mathematics. We're not talking about algebra here. We're talking about addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And they can't do it. They can't do it. You should have that mastered by the 4th grade. They're graduating high school and can't do it. 80% of the students graduating the New York City school system, in order to move into college, have to go back and take basic math, basic science, basic history. Reading, writing, and arithmetic are no longer taught in schools. They are nothing more than indoctrination prison camps. And if you have your children in public school, I strongly encourage you to take them out. Unless they're so far along or so wise to what's being forced down their throat that they're not fooled by it. But that is going to depend upon you as a parent and how you have educated your child. If they recognize it when they see it, that's different. But if they're in there being indoctrinated and you haven't brought them to the awareness to recognize through critical thinking skills what is indoctrination and what is not, that, ladies and gentlemen, is on you. All right, I want to talk about this Texas State Trooper problem. And then we're going to talk about the clown in Missouri at the state fair. Texas state troopers are pulling people over and doing body cavity searches on the side of the highway. I watched these 2 videos. It's posted up on our Facebook and on our website pages. And I got to tell you, in the second video, the woman says, you know, I've been violated to the cop. This is the male cop now, that she was searched by a female cop. And she says, I just had a finger in my butt, and I had a finger in my frontal parts, and I feel violated. And you know what this son of a gun had to say? Well, you can blame that on the daily driver of this car because he smokes pot. No, that person is not responsible for you having another officer sexually molest that girl. Somebody is a daily smoker in that car. That's what the cop said. You can chalk it up to somebody is a daily smoker in that car. I can chalk up rape. Penetration, sir, is rape. You are guilty of it. You are guilty of it because you were conspiring and participating in it. You were the one who called the female police officer who actually committed the rape. And therefore, you are just as guilty as she. I, for one, am going to tell you something right now. If that was my wife, my sister, my mother, or my daughter, you would have to live further away from me than Mr. Edward Snowden in order for you to be safe. I recommend full jail time and chemical castration for you for the remainder of your natural life. And that, you piece of trash, would be getting off easy. I've had it. I don't care if you're a cop. You are due no special significant dispensation. In fact, you are to uphold the law higher than everyone else. And if you think just because you smell marijuana, that gives you the right to rape a woman, then you and I, boy, we ought to meet in a dark alley one night. You are a shameful excuse for a human being. And if that was your wife, I guarantee you wouldn't tolerate it. I don't know who these people are. I don't know who these cops are, but every one of them ought to be introduced to Oath Keepers and educated about what their true constitutional responsibility is to the citizenry at large, who are in fact their bosses, not their subjects to be abused, raped, pillaged, and monstrosities done on. I am infuriated. In fact, I put it up on my Facebook page. If this was my wife, daughter, mother, or sister, these pieces of predatory trash would have to run further than Snowden to be safe. Cop or no cop, this is inexcusable, inhuman, abusive, and they may not have made it home that night. Alas, our criminal justice system would penalize these women for defending themselves in their own honor. That tells me and tells you that we live in a police state. When you can be physically, sexually assaulted because a police officer says, a peace officer says he smells marijuana, all rule of law is gone, and we are at war. We are at war. Make no mistake about it. These law enforcement agents, which, first of all, by the way, whatever happened to the word peace officer? They're not law enforcement. They are peace officers. And you don't encourage the peace by putting your finger inside of a woman's crotch over an alleged smell of marijuana. I'm telling you, this officer, I understand. Well, I don't know who was fired. There's a whole article about it. You got to read it for yourself. I can't even stand to read it again, because if I read it again, I'll tell you, I'm going to want to get on my bike and go find this guy. This is so infuriating, so outside the boundaries of acceptable, so far outside the boundaries of human conduct. Human conduct. If you think wearing a badge gives you the authority and the right to rape a woman over a potential smell of marijuana, which I and no one else listening to this particular radio show buy in the first place, we knew it was an excuse when you used it. You knew it too. And if you're willing to violate a woman like that in the hopes that you might get enough weed to bust her, I'm telling you, you have capitulated. And in fact, it's even worse than that. You have foreclosed all right to life. You have abdicated your right to your own life. It should be taken from you. If that was your wife, how would you react? I'm tired of hearing, well, we always have to be peaceful. Let me tell you something. If you were on the side of the road and somebody tries to do that to your wife or your sister or your mother or your daughter, I'm telling you, this ain't going to be a traffic stop anymore. And Americans need to make it very abundantly clear that this kind of behavior is unacceptable to the American population. In fact, motorists on the side of the road should have been pulling over and restraining that officer and charging him with, as civilians, committing civil arrest for rape. R-A-P-E. Nothing less. All right, we got about 12 minutes, and I'm going to spend the rest of this burning down the house over this NAACP claim that the rodeo clown who wore an Obama mask has been fired and banned from rodeo work for life. Now, I got to tell you something. Anybody who's ever been to a rodeo has seen rodeo clowns wear presidential masks for decades. This isn't new, folks. They've been doing this forever. But you're now trying to claim that this is a racist issue against that two-bit usurping piece of trash, that non-American, illegal immigrant who has usurped and stolen the throne of America because what? The guy made a funny? I'm telling you, the NAACP has come out and said that the DOJ and the Secret Service should investigate this rodeo clown. Let me tell you something. The only clown we've got is the head of the DOJ, the guy sitting in the White House who has no business there, and everybody in the NAACP who's calling for it. I am tired of reverse racism. I'm tired of feeling as if I've got to walk on eggshells because you've got a chip on your shoulder as big as Mount Everest. I don't really give a damn whether you like your color, don't like your color, think I do or think I don't. I'll tell you right now, leave me alone, leave me out of it. If you've got sore feelings about something that happened 37 generations ago that I and my family have had absolutely nothing to do with, that's on you. But stop pretending that you're some kind of a victim of society. Stop pretending that you are a victim and that we all owe you something. We don't owe you a damn thing. And if you don't like it, get the hell out. It's that simple. There is no racism in this nation other than that which you pervade and portray and promulgate yourself. I'm not racist. I don't like you, not because you're black. I don't like you because you're a damn fool, you're a tyrant, and you're a progressive liberal who thinks you have the right to dictate the rules to me. It has absolutely nothing to do with your color. That's the truth. And the same goes for Obama. The same goes for Eric Holder, who's a traitor, a treasonous, monstrous murderer. You know, I'll tell you what. I read Thomas Sowell's stuff all the time. I love the guy. He's black. And I didn't know it, and I read his stuff for years before I ever knew he was a black man. He is one, in my opinion, one of the best authors, the best commentators out there in the United States of America today. Not because he's black, just because the guy has uncommon common sense. Go read everything you can by Thomas Sowell. ThomasSowell. Best damn writer in America today. I also happen to like Dr. Carson, who I watched last night, interviewed about the Obamacare debacle. Let me tell you something. I would take him in a minute as a president. He has no experience in presidential matters. Guess what? That's okay. You know why? Because he'd use reason, common sense, and logic. Not political ideology. Not the real ultimate desire to cause great harm to this nation as his motivating factor for the rule of law. You know what? I'm so tired of reverse racism that, as far as I'm concerned, going forward, if you want, as a group, as a collective group, if you want to claim victimization and victimhood, and you want to point the finger at me for being racist, I'm almost willing at this point to say, great, we'll give it to you. Because you cannot be satisfied. No matter how much you're given, you demand more. And the truth is, the vast majority of us aren't guilty of anything. We don't care about your color. I don't care if you're gay. If you want to be gay, that's your business. Go do it. Just don't parade it around in front of me. If you want to be black and you want to have your own culture, go do it. But don't expect me to pay for it. Don't expect me to give you special dispensation for the crimes that you commit, for your failure and inability to, an unwillingness to live in a society that for all intents and purposes benefits you to my detriment. I'm tired of it. And so is most of America. Honest, truly intellectually honest black people in this country are also sick and tired of your whining, your complaining, and your belly aching. And I'm tired of your social treasonous pals out there like these two reverends who are about as Christian or about as godlike as Satan himself. You are living in a system of victimhood that they have created and designed for you. The prison that you and they have built around you has got bars and walls far greater than any racism by any opposing race to you than you could have ever dreamed. They are milking you for power and ego and money. That is the real truth. They are social misfits who are nothing more than false messiahs. And you are giving them all the power and credibility that they want. You're drinking the Kool-Aid of death. And it's time that it stopped. It's time that you stopped. It's time that you recognize and awaken to the fact that no one is responsible for your life but you. You are your only advocate. No one else is going to stand up for you but you. No one else is going to improve your lot in life but you. No one else is going to educate you but you. No one else is going to give you money but you. You know, humor and satire have been used throughout all known history by people to make fun of their political leaders. The fact that this guy literally dressed up and put on a face mask of Obama. Let me just show you how far down the tubes this has gone. They're making every rodeo clown take sensitivity training. This is Ayn Randian in its retardedness. Shameful, absolute, abject failure on the part of everyone involved, except the poor guy who was the clown. The governors apologized for it. The state fair creator apologized. What are you apologizing for? It was a joke. Late night comedians do it all day long. Why is it okay when they do it against a white president? And really, I don't care, against any president. That is the purview of satire. Presidents are public figures. They are open to ridicule, especially when they leave themselves so exposed because of their foibles and their idiocy, their treason and their betrayal of those people they allegedly represent. That is the simple truth. And there ain't nothing you can do to change it. This tyrant, this usurper, I'm calling it the way it is. I'm calling him exactly what he is. You all neglect to remember that he's half white, too. So should I be upset that the half-white president was made fun of? Hell no. This isn't about racism, and I'm tired of hearing it. It's not about racism. You know, that argument is used to silence true and honest integrity and discussion. In America, I don't know what more you're waiting for until you say, I've had enough of that. I'm not going to tolerate it anymore. Just say what you want to say, and damn the torpedoes, full steam ahead. If somebody doesn't like it, quit cowering and kowtowing to other people's opinion of you. Who cares what they think? If you don't like what I think, if you don't like what I say, find yourself another radio station to listen to. It's that simple. I don't really care. But I will speak the truth, irrespective of whether you like it or not. Your willingness to hide your head in the sand does not force me to lie to myself and to fail to speak the truth. And that is the truth. If you don't like it, don't listen. I don't like rap music. I don't listen. I don't like MTV. I don't listen. I don't like sitcoms, black, white, or otherwise. I don't watch them. If you don't like guns, don't buy one. If you don't like white people, stay away from them. If you don't like black people, stay away from them. That's it, folks. Just leave everybody alone. Mind your own damn business. Get the log out of your own eye before you look for the speck in your neighbor's. And try pulling yourself up by your bootstraps for once in your sad, sorry sack life. I mean, I don't know how much more you need before you finally recognize that time's up. It's over. Take responsibility for yourself. Take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for your wins, your losses, your failures, and do something about it. But stop pointing it off on everybody else. And stop trying to make race seem to be the one weapon of choice. The vast majority of America just doesn't give a crap. They don't care about you. They don't care about your color. And the more you whine, the less we care. It's that simple. We're all too busy fighting tyranny. You should be joining us, locking elbows with us and saying, America first. Then we can argue about whether you like my religion or my race or my color or my creed or my sex or who I want to sleep with. Really, America? This divisive nonsense that is being fostered, the fish always stinks from the head to the tail. And this crap is being pumped into your brain by a treasonous group of malcontents that start with this president. And it has nothing to do with the fact that he's black. He's a tyrant and he's a traitor. And that's as long as it gets. And he's half white, too. You're listening to America's Voice Now. Follow us on the web at americasvoicenow.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/America's Voice Now. Find this and every other show that we do on YouTube at youtube.com/America's Voice Now. When you find an episode that you like, share it with your friends, will you? Let's get America educated and hearing the truth for once. You're all starving for it. You're thirsty for it. I'm giving it to you every day. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning. God bless you.